Hello, Mason Storm here. Recently there was a blackout in my area, and I decided to cook breakfast during it. This is that process. Let us begin. To begin with, I have some coffee, an egg, a couple tablespoons of butter, some green beans, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk. I'm going to be using the barbecue for all of this, so I start with a sheet of aluminum foil and proceed to add my green beans to it and my butter. A little bit of salt and pepper goes a long way to enhancing the flavor. Afterwards, I fold up the foil and I have a nice package that I can put on the barbecue. This is my preferred way of making vegetables on the barbecue, and cobs of corn. I guess that's a vegetable too, but it really works well. Just gonna be preheating the old barbecue now as well, making sure we get up to temperature. Going for kind of a medium type of heat. So we're gonna be making biscuits as well, and I'm actually gonna be making almost a egg sandwich for this breakfast, and that's quite delicious. So we got the sifter over top of the bowl, we add in our flour, and then we add in our baking powder. This prevents us from getting any lumps, and then we just give that a quick thorough sifting till it's all gone through. Only takes a second. And then I'm going to add in my salt as well as my fluids, and then proceed to mix the mixture until it all greatly combines and becomes fantastic. I'm going to do a little bit of hand kneading there just for that last little bit, and try to do as much as I can while at the same time not over mixing it. And we'll move it to a smaller bowl because it's raining outside and I don't want just a collection of water. Now it's time to make some coffee as well. I'm going to be using the old mocha pot. I've had really good luck with these and seemed like the best idea for how to make coffee at the time. In hindsight, I probably could have made instant coffee and that would have been far simpler, but this stuff tastes better, so I'll go with that. Just gonna pour water in here, but with this glass, but I'm gonna throw it into the top portion of the container so I can pour it in without spilling, which I was not very successful at. But we'll just start filling her up. Now the way that you determine how much water to pour in here is you just fill it up right below the pressure release valve. And now it's time to start loading in our coffee. I'm just going to be using the spoon method, so just kind of fill it up. Don't really press it down all too much, because if you do, then you get a much stronger brew, and if you press it down a lot, then it kind of burns a little bit, so then you have a more rustic tasting coffee, which is probably not how it was intended to be had. But once it's filled up, we can put our little top thingy on and then proceed to screw on the top of the mocha pot proper. And now that we've done that, it's time to begin our actual cooking process. So we're back at the barbecue. I'm just going to move my stone pan here towards the front so I can set the mocha pot on it and do a little bit of cleaning before I throw on my beans. And we're just going to leave that there for a while and come back later. And once we got stuff starting to warm up, it takes quite a while to cook the coffee this way and the beans as well, so we're probably going to raise the temperature and start cooking up our biscuits, just throwing them down on the stone pan. And then after a little while, we're just going to move our beans up to the higher tray because they've been cooking for quite a while and don't really want to burn them. Probably been close to 40 minutes at this point in time. And that's when my lighting died. The battery anyway. But have no fear, old flashlight is here. So I'm just gonna flip the bread to make sure it doesn't overcook on one side and check the coffee to see how far it is along, which it hasn't really got anywhere at this point. Of course, in a few minutes, the coffee is now ready, which is perfect. And now we can move on to making our egg and completing our project. The buns have the perfect amount of brownness on them, and I wanted to have them all ready before doing the egg because there's nothing worse than either overcooked egg or a cold egg because you had to pull it off too early. So I'm using one of these little metal rings here, and that allows me to cook the egg without having it spill all over the place. Well, I don't think it would have spilled all over the place, but it keeps it in a nice form factor for putting it on a sandwich. And I'm just gonna pull the buns off, or the biscuits off now. They're nice and toasty and I don't want to overcook them. And it's about time to flip our egg as well. So I'm just going to use a knife to cut around the outside edge of the ring and then lift the ring off and then flip the egg. It's super easy, fantastic. And just let that cook till it's sufficiently cooked, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna go inside and time skip a little bit and actually go to the assembly process. So we start with our biscuit, we cut it in half, we add in our egg to our biscuit. I'm actually just gonna throw in a slice of cheese here. I know I didn't have the ingredients at the start, but it didn't seem proper not to have one. And then we can have our beans with this and we're all set. And coffee. Well, there you have it. There's my meal in a blackout using the barbecue. If you have any better suggestions, let me know. Because next time I have a blackout, I want to be a little bit better prepared. But I thought this was pretty good. Nice and delicious and relatively easy. I just need to make sure I keep my batteries charged up, just in case. So till next time, stay awesome.